show you how to solve quadratic equations using factorising. As you know, factorising is trying to find the highest common factor of the biggest number, breaking it down so it will fit into the brackets or vice versa. So, this example, x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0. Now, we need to get rid of this 0. And to do that, we're going to factorise. Now, we know that factorising is putting it back into the brackets. So it's the opposite of expanding. So generally, as a rule, you know that x squared is going to need 2 brackets. Okay? And there will be an x and there will be an x there, because if you times it out, that's your x squared. But how do we know what numbers to put in here? We've got 5 and we've got a 6. So what you have to do is this, and listen closely. So now you don't like maths, that's why you're here. So I'm going to make it super simple. The biggest number is 6. You want to find the highest common factors of 6. Now the highest common factors of 6 are 2 and 3. So you would have put 1 and 6, which it isn't, 2 and 3. That's easy, but there is something you need to know. You've got to make sure that these 2 numbers, if you add them, they make the number that's here, which they do. 2 plus 3 equals 5. And if you times them, they make 6. So you've got to make sure they add together to make the first lot of numbers. And you've got to multiply it to get that one. So when you put them in the brackets, it's 2 and a 3 there, 2 and a 3. We know if I add that 2 and the 3 equals 5, and if I times it, 2 times 3 equals 6. Right, that's the first step. We've still got to get rid of that 0. And to do that, we're going to do basic algebra. So we're going to work on these 2 brackets. So we've got x plus 2 equals 0. Because that's what we've got, haven't we? It's saying they both equal 0, so we're going to separate them. X plus 2 equals 0. Take the 2 over the equal sign, so it turns to a plus. Sorry, a minus. So it's x equals minus 2. That's it. So x1, which is our first solution, equals minus 2. And then we work on the second bracket, which is x plus 3 equals 0. X equals minus 3, because it's a plus, it's gone over. So that should actually have a 2 underneath. So our second solution, x2, call it x with a 2 because it's our second solution, equals minus 3. Most people, that's the end of it. But I'm not most people. And I think if there's a way you could check your answer, do it, especially in an exam, because you can tally up the marks for that and feel confident you got it right. So what you've got to do is put your brackets, your answer here, and you've got to get it back to the original question. Now our original question is this. So you're going to do x times x is x squared, x times 3 is 3x, then 2x times 2 times x, 2x plus 2 times 3 is 6 equals 0. Collect your like terms. So x squared, which is the biggest one there with the square root at the top, that goes first. 3x plus 2x is 5x, plus 6 at the end equals 0. That's it, done. Finished. I've made that sound simple, but it's not to somebody who doesn't know it. So let's crack on and go through this again. So we've got x squared plus 9x plus 14 equals 0. First of all, what I always do is I always put my brackets in first, equals 0, because I know there's going to be two brackets because it's x squared. So I know that an x is going to go here, and I know that an x is going to go here. Right. Highest common factor. Biggest number, which is 14. So 1 and 14, it's not that, because if I add 1 plus 14, it makes 15. And we're actually looking at finding 9. Next one, 2 and 7, 2 times 7 makes 14. And I know that 2 plus 7 equals 9. And if I times it, it's 14. So I know that I'm going to put 2 here and a 7 there. That's it. But obviously, there's two solutions here. So let's work on this. So we've got x plus 2 equals 0. X equals 0 minus 2. So our first solution equals minus 2. Or it could be x plus 7 equals 0. X equals 0 minus 7. X equals minus 7. So that's the second solution, sorry. So there we go. There's your answers. But as I said, we're going to check our answer and we're going to put it all back in to the brackets again. We're going to expand. X times x is x squared. X times 7 is plus 7x. 2 times x is plus 2x. 2 times 7 is 14 equals 0. Collect like terms. We know this is going to be at the front. 7x plus 2x is 9x. Plus 14 equals 0. I know that that was the original question. And I've got my 3 marks. I think it's about 3 marks. Let's do another one. So we've got our brackets, because there's going to be 2 brackets. I'm just going to do that. That's just a personal thing I do. And I know that there's going to be an x here and an x here. So we're looking for the highest common factor of the biggest number, which is 8. So we've got 1 and 8. 1 times 8 is 8. 2 times 4 is 8. So I know that if I add 2 and 4, it's 6, which is here. And 2 times 4 gives us our 8. So I know that I'm going to put here like so. And then we're going to work it out, find our zeros, find our, get rid of our 0, sorry. So that will be x equals minus 2, because that was a plus. x1. And then we've got x plus 4 equals 0. X equals minus 4. Okay? Let's check our answer. X plus 2. X plus 4 equals 0. X times x is x squared. X times 4 is plus 4x. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 4 is 8. It's looking about right. X squared, collect like terms, 4, 5 plus 6x plus 8 equals 0. There we go. By the way, you can use the grid method to multiply these. I just prefer this way of doing it. You can still use the the grid method. It's up to you. It's just I find it a lot neater to do my algebra like so. I think it's more connected. So I'm going to do one last one. So as I normally do brackets. It's squidged there. We've got X and we've got an X. And we now need to go to the biggest number, which is 24, find out our highest common factors. So we've got 1 and 24, 1 times 24. 1 plus 24 equals 25 when we're looking for 11. 2 times 12 is 24, but doesn't add it, right? 2 plus 12 comes to 14. I'm looking for 11. Oh, 3 times 8 is 24. 8, 9, 10, 11 makes 11. So we've got 3 and an 8 plus 3. And plus 8. And then we do our little bit of maths to get rid of the zeros. X plus 3 equals 0. X equals minus 3. Or it could be X plus A equals 0. X equals minus 8. Let's check our answer. X plus 3, X plus 8 equals 0. X times X is X squared. X times 8 is plus 8X. 3 times X is plus 3X. 3 times 8 is 24 equals 0. Collect our like terms. 8, 9, 10, 11X plus 24 equals 0. There we go. Check to answers. Obviously, you know, there's millions of questions like this online. This is just 4 questions of me trying to make it as simple and easy as possible. But there's loads of places you could look online. I recommend Quadratic Maths, Max Genie, YouTube, anything. Just put in solving quadratic equations using factorising and there'll be plenty of information out there. Or you can just drop me a message and ask me.